Hey guys, Sergio here. I'm going to do a movie review. The movie I'm choosing to talk about is Chilleramma, right there. There's that part. The thing that caught my attention about the movie is that there were cameos from two fellow YouTubers. It was Wet Movie 1 and Cool Duder were in this. So that's what caught my attention as to why I wanted to watch this. I was going to buy it back in December when it first came out, but I ended up finding it here at a Hastings store at a pretty good price. There's the inside. And this movie was pretty entertaining, but it's also kind of like a soft-core porn, if that's a nice way of putting it. It's definitely different. It's original. And it's also kind of like short stories, kind of like Tales from the Dark Side, the Creep Show movies, Tales from the Crypt, and a few other ones that were short story movies were really popular in the 80s, a little bit in the 90s. I remember some like the Willies came out, and this is one of those. The movie starts out with this guy. He's in the cemetery and he's digging up a corpse because he's into necrophilia. The corpse ends up coming to life, biting him, and he gets infected. This guy, he works at the drive-in, so by the time he gets to the drive-in, he's not looking too good. He's looking kind of like a zombie himself. He's got some virus that's spreading throughout his body that the corpse gave him at the cemetery. So it shows different stories, different people that are at the movies, at the drive-in, watching the movies. And the movies that they're playing are actually the short stories that are on this film. The first one, I really don't remember the names of the short stories. Wadzilla, there we go, they're right here. Wadzilla was the first movie, and that's like I said, it's like a softcore porn. It's about a guy that he has a problem, so he ends up releasing some sperm. His sperm is really, it starts coming to life. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it gets unleashed into the city. It starts eating people. These aren't meant to be serious stories. They're supposed to be a comedy. So by the end of the movie, this giant sperm, it's kind of like King Kong when he's climbing the skyscraper. Except the giant sperm is headed for the Statue of Liberty because it's attracted by it, and eventually it's blown up, and everybody in the city gets covered by sperm. The second story on here, after the first story is over, it goes back to the drive-in and it tells different stories about what's going on at the drive-in, and then it shows more about this guy that was at the cemetery. He's not looking too good. He's starting to look worse. He ends up infecting the butter in the popcorn that they're using at the drive-in, so when everybody at the drive-in starts eating the popcorn, and eventually they're infected, or they're starting to get infected. After it does that, another movie on the drive-in screen starts to play, and that one would be I Was a Teenage Werebear. That one is another kind of makes fun of the Lost Boys, which is what it kind of reminded me of. But it's about this new kid in town, and he's, like I said, he's the new kid in town. He just wants to be liked, and there's this gang of bikers. They're dressed kind of like the people from the musical Grease, and pretty much what happens is these guys, they're gay, so whenever they become aroused by other guys, they end up turning into werebears, and so that's what that story is about. Eventually, this new kid in town, he's turned into a werebear, but he wants nothing to do with killing people, so he turns out the other ones. After that one is over, it goes back to the drive-in and continues that story of what's going on in the drive-in. The people that are in the cars, they ain't looking too good anymore. They're looking worse and worse and worse. And it just shows little clips of what's going on at the drive-in. And then it goes into another short story movie. And that one was the Diary of Anne Frankenstein. And that was pretty much like they're kind of making fun of Hitler. It makes it seem like Hitler is the one that came up with Frankenstein. He wants to take responsibility for Frankenstein. He wants to create a monster that will help him win World War. He thinks it's World War I, even though it's World War II in the movie. And eventually Frankenstein turns on him and ends up killing him, his wife, and all the Nazis. Eventually goes back to the drive-in, and by this time everybody is pretty much infected, and everybody at the drive-in are turning into zombies, and they're killing each other. You got males raping other males. It's a very different movie. It might turn a lot of people off. It's, like I said, it's not meant to be serious. It's not meant to be taken serious. It's not really meant to be scary. It's supposed to be more funny for people who are into that low budget horror movies, even though it's not supposed to be horror. Definitely a different type of movie. I enjoyed it, but not something that I would probably like, hey, let's watch this. If I had a bunch of people over, because probably freak them out. It is kind of, like I said, like a softcore porn. This is available at Target, but I would say it was pretty entertaining. Definitely different. Like I said, it's definitely a different type of movie, and but it was pretty interesting. It was a pretty fun watch. So I'm not really going to give it a rating. I'm just going to say it was pretty interesting. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more. Bye.